Alright, let's show user Scott set lines 100, pages 100, set wrap off. Clear screen. Alright, so now let's describe EMP, and now we're going to talk about aliases. So show me everybody's name in the table. So let's select ename from EMP. Select ename from EMP. Now ename, employee name, I'm assuming is that what that means. Smith looks like the last name. So 14 rows selected. Let's say I want the column to say last name. One word, last name. So we're going to use an alias. To use an alias, here's the syntax. Select ename as, and I'll put it in all caps even though you don't need to be in caps, as last name from EMP. As you can see, the word last name is now showing as the column heading of all the names. We changed the name, not permanently, but just so we can see it, to view it. We changed the column name ename to last name. Now if I describe EMP, ename didn't change, it's still ename. But based on the syntax that we used here, as last name, that's called an alias. We changed ename to last name. Alright? So let's do select star from EMP. Let's take everybody, I want to see everybody's name and salary. So that's select ename, comma, sal from EMP. But let's say instead of salary, I wanted to see compensation. Well, this is going to be very simple. It's going to be select ename, comma, sal as compensation from EMP. Now it says compensation. Sal, column name, as compensation. The reason why this works is because certain words are reserved. From is reserved, as is reserved. When you say Sal and then another name, usually if you don't have a comma in between the last column, it's expecting the from clause. But SQL knows if I see as, that means the very next thing is going to be the alias for the column preceding it. Alright, so let's describe EMP. Let's say instead of job, we say description. Job description, 2 words. So select job from EMP. It says job. No, let's say title. Instead of job, let's say title. Very simple. Select job as title from EMP. Now, at the top, the first we had job, which is what's in the description page of the table EMP. But because we use select job as title, now it says title. Now let's remove this word as. There's another way you can do this, and that is not even using the word as. We're just going to do select job title from EMP. Select job title from EMP. How come it works? Why does that work? Because as is a choice. You don't need the word as. Oracle knows, or SQL knows, when you do select column name and the very next word isn't a comma or it's not another column name, it's going to treat that as the alias. Alright, so select column name alias from. Alright, let's do some more. Let's do select star from EMP. Alright, now let's say instead of MGR, we want to see the word manager. Manager. So give me the names and the managers. Select ename, comma, MGR from EMP. Now the manager, I believe, is a numerical, so it's a manager, it's a code, it's an employee number. So instead of the word MGR, or the letters MGR, let's say I want to see ename, and instead of MGR, manager ID. Alright, so it's going to be select ename, comma, MGR, space, manager ID from EMP. Error message. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. The reason why you're getting an error is it says from keyword not found where expected. If the alias is more than one word, you have to have quotation marks around it. So MGR, if I put the word manager and then ID was never there and it said from, that would be fine, and I can prove it. Select ename, comma, MGR, manager from EMP. That worked, manager. No error message. But because I put manager and then space ID, the error came in because the from keyword was not where it was expected. SQL did not know where to find it. So to fix that, we have to put this in quotation marks. So let's do that. Let's do select ename, comma, MGR, comma, manager ID, quote, sorry, not comma, quote, from EMP. Now you can see manager ID is the column heading. That's the alias. Alright. Now I could also put the word as right here. Let's do that. So let's clear screen. Select ename, comma, MGR as, quote, manager ID, quote, end quote, from EMP. Same exact thing. As I said earlier, you don't need the as. It's just a choice you have. But you do need quotes if it's two separate words as the alias. Alright, let's do some more basic ones. Let's describe EMP. Now, EMPNO, that's the employee number. But instead of EMPNO, let's say it said the word ID. So it's going to be select EMPNO from EMP. So we already know what that's going to be. EMP, employee number, and all the numbers. But let's say we want this to say ID. Very simple. It's going to be select EMPNO. We can do as ID. Alright. We can do as quote ID. Or we can just do ID. So let's do all three. Let's do as ID from EMP. That worked. Says ID. Select EMPNO, employee number, as ID. So it says ID. Let's do the next way. Select EMPNO as quote ID from EMP. That works as well. Alright. So we did as ID. We did as quote ID. Now let's not do as or quotes. So that's going to be select EMPNO ID from EMP. Voila, works. So these are three separate ways to get the same thing done. Let's scroll up. The first basic select statement is just select employee number from EMP. And we use the exact syntax, the exact column name in the description page of the EMP table. EMPNO from EMP. Then we did an alias. As ID, as quote ID, or just ID. The end result was the same. That is, 14 rows were selected and the column name was ID. Remember, this is not a permanent change. This is temporary, because if I describe EMP, you can still see it doesn't say ID, but it says EMPNO. Alright, so let's do two columns with two aliases. So you understand how to do one column, one alias. Let's do two columns, two aliases. Let's say we want two columns, employee names and salary. But instead of saying ename and sal, I want it to say employee's name, 2 words, and yearly, or let's just say weekly pay. So I wanted to say employee name and then weekly pay. Alright, very simple. Let's clear the screen. Let's select ename, comma, sal from EMP. That's what it looks like, ename, sal. But we want this to say employee name and weekly pay. Very simple. Let's do select ename, quote, employee name, comma, space, and then sal, quote, weekly pay. From what? From EMP. Enter. Now, there is a way to manipulate column spacing, but as you can see, we kind of jumbled everything up. So let's do this. Let's just say worker. so it looks better. We're just trying to prove a point how to do aliases. So select ename, comma, sal from EMP. Show me everybody's name and salary. Smith makes 800. I want this to say worker and weekly pay. So that's going to be select ename. You can do quote worker. You can do as worker, or you can just do worker. Comma, space, sal. Quote, we will do weekly pay from EMP. So now ename is now worker and salary is now weekly pay. All right, let's clear the screen. Let's do some more. Describe EMP. Now instead of com for commission, let's spell out the word commission. All right, so let's select everybody's name and commission. So that's without an alias. Select ename, comma, com from EMP. Now not everybody makes commission, but probably because not everybody's a salesman, but that's not the point. The point is we have name and com for commission. But let's say we want this to say employee and we want this to say the word commission. Very simple. It's going to be select ename and let's just do as this time. As, and just for fun let's do quotes. As worker, or I think I said employee, comma, space, COMM for commission, and let's say no as. We're not going to do as, but we will use the quotes. Once again, it doesn't matter. Commission from EMP. Employee, commission. Select ename as quote employee, comma, and then the column name commission without the word as. We just did commission, quote commission. The word commission, not abbreviated. All right, from EMP. So let's do one more example. Earlier we manipulated the salary column by giving people bonuses, giving people 15% bonuses, dividing their salaries, things of that nature. So let's do this. Let's select everybody's name and salary. Ename, comma, sal from EMP. And let's double everybody's salary in a third column. And we'll call it bonus. That's a big bonus, but let's do that. So it's going to be select ename, comma, sal times 2. Let's double it. Sal times 2 from EMP. So sal times 2, we can change that to an alias. The same way we changed all the other columns to an alias. So we're not going to change ename. We'll leave ename alone for now. We'll leave sal alone as sal. But instead of sal times 2, let's call sal times 2 bonus. So that's going to be select ename, comma, sal times 2. And we have a choice. We can do as bonus. We can do as quote bonus. Or, since it's only one word, we don't need quotes or an as. We can just do bonus from EMP. Look at that. Bonus. See how it works now? Select ename, sal times 2, but I didn't want to see the word sal times 2. So sal times 2 and bonus. Let's do it with the word as. Same thing. Select ename, comma, sal times 2 as bonus from EMP. Select ename, comma, sal times 2. We're going to double the salary as, and we're going to name it bonus. All right. Let's say everybody gets, instead of doubling their salary, let's say everybody gets a 15% raise. So we're going to multiply this number times 1.15. Again, this ain't a math class, but just bear with me. And we're going to see what the column heading looks like. So let's see. So select ename, comma, sal times 1.15 from EMP. So now we're going to see, and we're going to learn how to clean these numbers up, rounding and everything. But now we see ename, sal, and sal times 1.15. Again, let's call this 15% raise. Instead of sal times 1.5, let's not call it bonus. Let's call it 15% raise. Very, very, very simple. Select ename, comma, Sal, comma. We're still going to give it the 15% raise, so it's going to be Sal times 1.15. And let's do as. And since I'm going to put more than one word, I need quotes. All right, I don't need the as necessarily, but I need quotes. I'm going to say 15% raise from EMP. Enter. Let's analyze this. Select ename Sal times 1.15, a little arithmetic operator. So 800, a 15% increase of 800 becomes 920. But instead of having this phrase as the column heading, as, quote, 15% raise. Now, what would happen if we did 15% raise without quotes? Well, you would see we're going to get an error message. So instead of typing it again, I'm just going to hit the up arrow on the keyboard, and I'm just going to delete the quotes. That's definitely an error message, no doubt about it. From keyword not found where expected. And again, you can Google these and read about the error codes. Error. This is, SQL is going ballistic right now. It doesn't understand what this is supposed to mean. That's why if I hit the up arrow again, now it knows what it means because it has the quotes. Alright, that's Alias in a nutshell. Let's do one more time just so it hits home. Describe EMP. These are permanent column names. You can change the column name. You can manipulate the column name. You can manipulate the data in the display however you choose. So instead of saying job, I can say title. So it's going to be select job as title from EMP. So that's Alias in a nutshell.